Hello, my name is Brian Delatry, and I started taking Relief Factor just about a year ago. I was having chronic knee pain over time. It just got worse and worse. Just walking downstairs was painful. Well, since I've taken Relief Factor, the results have been just amazing. I actually walk 4 miles a day, 5 to 6 days a week. No pain at all going downstairs. Very active playing golf, and it's been really just unbelievable in the change I've had in the pain in my knee. Hope that someone who's experienced the same type of pain gives Relief Factor a try. And I guarantee if you get the results that I have, you'll be very happy. I'm going to continue using the product because I am now pain-free.
Don't wait. If you're dealing with daily pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. Go to ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain?
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show. It is Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's not just for tacos anymore, although tacos sound kind of good right now. They absolutely do. Welcome to the show. Please come inside. A lot of discussion about Bad Bunny. And we're going to get into that. I don't know if you know why they didn't translate the lyrics on the screen the other night. Well, it's because they were obscene. They were disgusting and highly sexual. And just because they're in Spanish doesn't mean you're not going to be in trouble with the FCC. And honestly, I got to tell you, I can't imagine that a lot of Hispanics are crazy about some of the things he was singing about because, a lot of them are Catholic and, church-going kind of types. But anyway, we'll get to that as the show progresses. The big scandal, though, they say that Kid Rock may have lip-synced part of his performance. He's denying that. But that isn't the scandal. That isn't the scandal of scandals. You want to hear the scandal of scandals? Did you watch the Puppy Bowl? You watch the Puppy Bowl? Apparently one of the stars of the Puppy Bowl died months ago. Yeah. One of the dogs died months ago. So where's the outcry for that? It wasn't even live, and the dog wasn't even live. So the Puppy Bowl isn't live, and the dog isn't live. Tegan, the adorable pooch from Puppy Bowl, whatever, the 29 or whatever. I don't read Roman numerals. I never learned them. So I could never tell when a movie was made because, the Roman numeral tragically passed away months before the annual event aired on TVs across America with the Connecticut Annual Sanctuary. Perfect Imperfections calling it bittersweet to see her on TV. I want to know why the Team Fluff member was allowed to pass on and the performance to be aired when the dog was dead. I think this is scandalous. This should rock the dog world, for God's sake, that we were lied to about the Puppy Bowl not being live and the main star of the Puppy Bowl being not alive. It's yeah, okay. Anyway, Puppy Bowl. I didn't get a chance to see the Puppy Bowl this year. Probably a good thing, but a whole lot of people watch the TPUSA halftime. This is Andrew Colvett. He was the executive producer of one of their shows there, and he had this to say about the show.
At one point across,
he was the executive producer of the Charlie Kirk Show. Now he's one of the principals at the TPUSA.
At one point across all the different social channels, we saw over 10 million concurrent views.
What?
So that was adding up all of Rumble and all of our partners just on the social side. So, and now the numbers keep trickling in. I mean, right now as I'm sitting here, YouTube's numbers keep updating.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to put it all together. What I can safely say is that we are now over 20 million viewers across just social. So we haven't even gotten our partner broadcasters, their analytics. As you know, sometimes the ratings take a little while, but that's 20 million viewers. And we don't know how many people were gathered together, 3, 4, 10 in a room watching together. So we're going to try and put a final number on that when we can. What we can safely say is over 20 million Americans tuned in to the All-American Halftime Show tonight.
That's kind of a big deal, by the way, when you consider that it's not on broadcast television. It doesn't have the advantages of broadcast television that the Super Bowl does, so it's pretty darn amazing. Here's Graham Allen with some statistics about the halftime show.
Turning Point USA didn't just put on an alternative halftime show last night. They changed the course of history in sports entertainment. Turning Point USA had one of the top 3 live streams of all time.
Whoa.
Just on YouTube alone.
Wow.
That means Turning Point USA siphoned off 22% of households watching the NFL simply because they gave an alternative option.
Yeah.
People are calling the NFL going, what the crap happened?
Yeah.
And people are wondering, why weren't we a part of this Turning Point USA halftime show?
Yeah, and by the way, why was it in Spanish? After 4 years of the southern border being open and the United States being beat-slapped by the third world, and this unbelievable insult to the American people, and it was from a guy who hates America, didn't tour in America, and all of a sudden he becomes the guy who is singing in the halftime, and he does it in Spanish exclusively. Whole lot of crap, crotch grabbing, a lot of gay sexual acts. Did you notice that there were guys there making out and stuff, women gyrating provocatively, Bad Bunny shamelessly grabbing his crotch while dry humping the air? You know, this is what bunnies do, because bunnies, you know how bunnies are. They like to reproduce. So there's that. Here is Kid Rock. Kid Rock was given a lot of grief by Joe Scarborough. Now, I'm going to explain something in a second here, and Glenn Beck caught it last night, and I should have said it yesterday. The beginning of Kid Rock's show started with one of his theme songs, Cowboy. And it talks about debauchery and strip clubs and all of this. And he said he did it kind of as a parody. This was 1996-ish, this song. And you know, nobody thinks that all of my homies at the methadone clinic and all that is real. And even if it was, you know, is a great song. And then in the middle of this performance, he started off with that. Then he switched into who he is now. So it was a before and after. Meanwhile, the air-humping Bad Bunny just did the before. He's still in the before. But here is Kid Rock reacting to Joe Scarborough. Dear God, Joe Scarborough. Oh, my God in heaven. Oh. You would think that someone who is this wrong about everything would not have a job. But no, he still soldiers on. He still marches to the beat of wrongness every friggin' day. Here's a Kid Rock reacting to Joe Scarborough reacting to Kid Rock.
Alternative programming where they had a guy performing who, of course, throughout his career has preached the glories of having sex with underage girls and setting up escort services atop the Four Seasons. Yeah. Cowboy.
If we're going to go there, is somebody going to go back and read Bruce Springsteen's lyrics to I'm on Fire?
Yeah, well.
You know, hey, little girl, is your daddy home? You know?
Wait. That's what this song's about? Oh, my God.
All that, like, it's just these people will do anything, you know, just, I'm used to it at this point.
I got a bed to desire. Oh, I'm on fire.
They're just not smart enough to realize all they're doing, these people are just basically my promo machine. Because people that like me love me, and no one likes Kid Rock. They either love me or people hate me. And the people that love me, all these people do is amplify anything I have going on. So people go, oh, Kid Rock's playing a halftime. Where do I watch it? So thank you, haters.
Yeah, exactly. And he was also great during the Republican National Convention. It was like gigantic and epic and kick butt and everything. Kid Rock was asked, like, he was talking to Lori Ingram, by the way, about Roger Goodell hiring Jay-Z and what Jay-Z has done here.
But it seems like there's a little bit of a DEI hire there going on, you know, to kind of like, you know, like, oh, you know, black guys love Jay-Z. And of course, I'm not that ignorant. I know a lot of us love Jay-Z, not just black guys. But in the league where he had this problem, it seemed like, you know, oh, we'll bring him in. And so, you know, Jay-Z's not going to take that position of power and that money. You know, so he had all sorts of problems. So he brings in Jay-Z. And what's Jay-Z going to do? He's going to do right by his base. That's where you had Kendrick Lamar last year. There's a lot of people didn't get.
Kendrick Lamar, another guy who most of us had not heard of. Sorry. How about Metallica next year? Why not Metallica? How about that?
I respect Kendrick Lamar, but wasn't my cup of tea. And, you know, then this year you're like, wow, they're going to double down. And to me, it was kind of just like another middle finger to conservatives, to the MAGA, you know, crowd, to my base, everything.
Yeah, pretty much. But back to the song Cowboy, which, by the way, is one of my favorite workout songs of all time. It's one of those songs that it's an epic rock tune. It combines hip-hop and metal, and it's a great song. And listen, there's a lot of songs out there that we listen to. I mean, listen, I listened to music in high school that they said, oh my God, if you listen to Rush and if you listen to Iron Maiden, you're going to worship the devil. I mean, honestly, the Church of Satan should be the biggest damn thing in the world right now because my generation listened to music that was supposedly satanic. A lot of the times, the rock artists, they project these things as to project kind of a fear, a danger involved here. They don't take it seriously. Ronnie James Dio was forever known for holding up. It's not devil horns. It's actually a sign of affection his Italian grandmother showed him. Ronnie James Dio was a profound Christian, by the way. But, everybody was, oh, it's a Satan, it's whatever. And like I said, Church of Satan should be gigantic, according to my generation, but not so much. Glenn Beck brought this up, and this is when Kid Rock started with Cowboy and then segued into this song about Jesus Christ. This is what happened.
And everybody got offended at first because Kid Rock started his set with a song that came out in 1999. It's vulgar. It talks about topless dancers, drinking, crooked cops, all of this stuff. Yeah. And everybody's kind of like, wait, what is Kid Rock doing? Why? But then, if you follow the story arc, what happened? There's an acoustic set with two people playing a Christian hymn meant to be a bridge, an emotional bridge. Comes back to Kid Rock, introduced back to the stage as Robert Ritchie, which is his real name. Okay. Then he plays a revised version of Till You Can't, which now the revised version ends with lyrics about Jesus Christ. Yeah. This was a redemption story. Yes. And nowhere was it push it in, push it in.
That's bad.
Because I don't speak Spanish, I just have to assume none of these.
Yeah. So that's the story behind that. And I'm going to share a little bit of this song on the other side of the break, Kid Rock, and then some of the lyrics that the FCC is going after Bad Money and the NFL on. And now we understand why they didn't bother to translate for the American people, because it was friggin' despicable. And Roger Goodell, honestly, you better pull your head out of your rear end, buddy, because enough is enough is enough. Let's take a break and come back, shall we? This is the Rob Carson Show.
Town of Portland, I said in the guard, Antifa, they are gonna get you hard. The Democrat mayor's getting in my way. Go ahead, punks, and make my day. F around and find out. F around and find out. Schumer's gonna find out. I mean business and I'll get my way. Pencil neck and Chris Ray, for your crimes you will pay. You have both been found out. Hope you get a lengthy prison stay. Listen up, Hamas, I am warning you. Break the ceasefire and you'll be through. Democrats, hang your head in shame. For the shutdown, you're gonna get the blame. F around and find out. Mess around and find out. F around and find out. In the end, I'm gonna win the day. Find out.
Trump's new borders are, we'll clean up the mess. The mess Kamala, she did not address. Open borders, he will abort. And illegals, he will deport. Thomas Homan, he will say no, man. You must go, man. Mexico, man, you're headed back. Thomas Homan, he's a former cop. Border jumpers, Tom is gonna stop. Used to be in charge of ICE. illegals. Tom will not be nice. Thomas Homan. They ought to know, man. He's not a showman. Thomas Homan will kick you out.
You better start packing now.
Thomas Homan. He is your foe, man. You've got to go, man.
Radio 680 WCVM.
The Rob Carson Show podcast is everywhere. Go to newsmax.com/listen for details.
Write it down.
Robert Ritchie.
There's a book that's sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off. There's a man who died for all our sins, hanging from the cross. You can give your life to Jesus, and He'll give you a second chance till you can't take it. If you got a chance, take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it.
Wow. Pretty darn cool, isn't it? I wasn't all that familiar with that song, to be quite honest. There's another song that I listen to almost every day. It's by Brandon Lake and Jelly Roll. It's called Hard Fought Hallelujah.
I'll bring my hard-fought, heartfelt, been through hell, hallelujah. And I'll bring my storm-tossed, torn-self story to tell, hallelujah.
There is a spiritual awakening happening in our country and going around the world, and I predicted it last year, the year before. I said it would be a move of patriotism and freedom around the world. And then they murdered Charlie Kirk. And now faith is making a comeback. And I don't think it's just Christianity. I think it's the good religions of the world, but led by Christianity. And so this is why, one of the reasons why the halftime TPUSA event went so incredibly well, and how, I've told you about how the Democrat Party is doing a death spiral into hell. They side on everything wrong. They choose the wrong side of everything, morally, intellectually, the whole deal. They're morally, intellectually bankrupt. And this is another one. You've got the left defending Bad Bunny like it's some sort of a giant cultural amazing thing, when the reason why they didn't translate his lyrics to English were because they were filthy lyrics. Randy Fine has called on the FCC to take action, including fines and broadcast license reviews against the NFL, NBC, and Bad Bunny. You want to hear some of these? And I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to bleep them, right? But you're going to understand what it is. So if you're easily offended, you might want to, You can close your ears and go, la, 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 like Democrats do when you're trying to argue things with common sense and intelligence. My D word is being chased, and I want you to hide it. Grab it like a bonga. I don't even know what a bonga is. She took a pill that made her horny. She bleeps in the Audi. That's a fortification act, and not in a Honda. There you go. That's brilliant. If your boyfriend doesn't eat your bleep, he'd better bleep off. Yeah, this is Bad Bunny. This is why they didn't put the lyrics on the screen translated. Good job, NFL. I mean, wow. You didn't think you could get worse than Janet Jackson's nipple being exposed. You people are so stupid, my God in heaven. Just ridiculous. Here's Joe Scarborough, once again being on the wrong side of history and common sense, saying that the reason why Bad Bunny is because capitalism. If you tuned into TPUSA, you don't like capitalism.
You're getting the biggest artist in the world.
God.
And if you're the NFL and you like capitalism,
sure.
Why not? So I don't know why these socialists hate capitalism so much.
You got to weigh it against, not only is he anti-American, also capitalism, but also anti-American and really profane.
And they hate a company doing what's best for their bottom line, but they obviously do. I feel sorry for them. Maybe they should read some Noam Chomsky because
God, you feeling sorry for me, that is just choice. Dear God in heaven. Stephen A. Smith even had a problem with, I guess 80% of us don't speak Spanish, so maybe not a great move to have this guy do halftime on top of him being a profane pervert.
If most people don't understand the lyrics because you're speaking it in what they deem to be a foreign language.
Yeah, it is.
That is a legitimate point that the president made.
Yeah, it is.
That part.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they had a problem with it. I'm just saying his statement that most people didn't understand anything he was saying. There's millions upon millions of Americans that would have wanted to hear something in English other than Lady Gaga.
Yeah, it would have been nice.
That is true.
Yes.
And me personally, would been nice to see J-Lo out there.
Yeah.
Been nice to see Shakira out there.
Would have been nice. Yeah, something like that.
Been nice to see a few people.
Yeah.
Celebrating their Hispanic heritage, no doubt.
Yeah, why not?
But it also would have been nice if some of the songs were in English.
Would have been nice, yeah, but they chose to do that. Of course, here's the Viewcast, the Harpies from Hell. They, of course, love themselves some Bad Bunny. I guess even though many of them are mothers, they're fine with, whatever the hell he was singing about, with her kids, like presumably being able to speak Spanish, repeating things you wouldn't share in polite dinner conversation.
Look, yes, it is political. It is political because Bad Bunny is a man who is a Latino and a Hispanic.
You didn't say Latino.
Who has never shied away from defending his culture, his identity, and his people.
Oh,
it is
wow.
political.
She'd be so proud of that.
Because Bad Bunny chose not to
I support the air-humping.
Have any concerts in mainstream.
It is part of my being.
Mainstream USA in the mainland.
Bad Bunny. He calls himself Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
He's an adult man.
We've had our fill of you.
Bad Bunny. I'd call that El Retardo. What, did you just say that? You can't say that. Yeah, I just kind of did. Honestly, if you're an adult and you say you're a Bad Bunny fan, honestly, you maybe want to, check yourself. I got a little bit more on this, including Shawn Farash, a great Donald Trump impressionist, coming up. And then we're going to talk about corruption in Congress. Then we're going to talk about America's biggest Democrat-run cities being completely bankrupt, among other things. We got a little streaming issue. We're going to try and take care of that in the meantime. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show.
Ken, you just said you're back.
I know I did. I unplugged and plugged back in. Hey guys, it's Carson for Quince. You know, a well-built wardrobe is about pieces that work together and hold up over time. That's what Quince does best. Premium materials, thoughtful design, everyday staples that feel easy to wear, even as the weather shifts. Quince has everyday essentials. I love the quality that lasts, by the way. Organic cotton sweaters, polos for every occasion, lighter jackets to keep you warm in the changing season. The list goes on. Now, Quince works directly with top factories and cuts out the middleman. So you're not paying for brand markup, just quality clothing. Everything is built to hold up to daily wear and still look good season after season. I have a great wool blazer that has the ladies turning their heads, even if they're not looking at me. And then, of course, a cashmere sweater, ridiculously soft, doesn't cost a fortune as well. Refresh your wardrobe with Quince. Go to quince.com/newsmax for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada, too. That's quince.com, QUINCE.com/newsmax. Free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/newsmax.
Hello, my name is Brian Delatry, and I started taking Relief Factor just about a year ago. I was having chronic knee pain over time. It just got worse and worse. Just walking downstairs was painful. Well, since I've taken Relief Factor, the results have been just amazing. I actually walk 4 miles a day, 5 to 6 days a week. No pain at all going downstairs. Very active playing golf, and it's been really just unbelievable in the change I've had in the pain in my knee. You know, hope that someone who's experienced the same type of pain gives Relief Factor a try. And I guarantee if you get the results that I have, you'll be very happy. I'm going to continue using the product because I am now pain-free.
Don't wait. If you're dealing with daily pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. Go to ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain?
Well, I'm gonna pay a visit. I'm headed to the Everglades. Gonna see a brand new prison for folks arrested in ICE raids. I hear it's already getting all kinds of accolades. Alligator Alcatraz, it's where illegals will be kept. We're cracking down, unlike Biden, who was totally inept. It is something that the liberals in Florida cannot accept. California Alcatraz, I want to open that one too. Just imagine the hard time that real criminals will do. Alligator Alcatraz, I'm gonna take a tour of you.
I won't mask, don't ask me. I won't mask aboard a plane. And I won't wear one in a car or a train. Mandate, not needed. Freedoms, we've ceded. And now Joe, he wants it back. A new mask mandate is his latest attack. Joe wants you to mask when you are flying. The rationale for this nobody's buying. Claiming it's essential, simply lying. Yeah, it's appalling. It's like Joe Stalin. And that's why I won't mask. Can't make me to jail. You can't take me. I won't mask for you again. The flight attendants, they can casually ask. But when I'm flying on a plane, I won't mask.
You didn't have to understand or speak Spanish to feel the joy and to feel the unity and the message of inclusivity that was there.
I know. The words that he said, Bad Bunny, during the Super Bowl, they really, the joy, like when he said, it seems like she F's well while high. I want to take a selfie with that huge A word. Erect. I'm erect, and it shows. That's unity.
Of course, you know, I've been going to Puerto Rico since I was a little kid. Since my
maybe you haven't studied Spanish long enough here to understand what he said the other night.
mother is from there, and it was such an homage to the island. La Isla
Oh, yeah. I'm so horny. What are we gonna do with that bum go crazy bum?
Canto. It was so beautiful to see the sugar cane in Puerto Rico, to see the baba hat. And, you know, people kept on asking me, like, what is this?
I'd rather see a John Deere hat, actually.
What were you wearing on Friday? This hat used to be worn by...
Why are there more Puerto Ricans living here than in Puerto Rico?
By farmers in Puerto Rico, right? Working the sugar cane fields.
Work that sugar cane, yeah. If you have that bum go crazy bum.
And it's just made from palm straw.
Yes.
But at some point, it was sort of...
yeah, that's great, Sonny hosting. Dear God, you're wrong about everything. How about shut up? I mean, really, honestly. Shawn Farash, who we've had on the show for years, by the way, he started off years ago, I think... I had him on the air for the very first time like 6 years ago, and I remember having him on the air, and I did an interview with him as Donald Trump, and he did the interview as Donald Trump without being funny. I said, no, you can't be Donald Trump. You can't answer the questions as Donald Trump. You got to answer the questions as you being Donald Trump, and you got to make it funny. And then he just went off, and he's gotten so good, and here he is as Donald Trump talking this. I'm just going to let it roll because this is just a beautiful piece.
This is your favorite president, and this message is for Bad Bunny, or as I call him, the nasty rabbit, El Conejo Desagradable. He's a nasty rabbit and a stupid rabbit.
Yes.
Anytime you see a guy in a dress, that's a very stupid person.
Yes.
So he's a nasty guy, a horrible guy. They call him Bad Bunny. I call him the worst bunny. Think about it. And nobody knows bunnies quite like I do. I get along very well with many of the highly respected bunnies all around the world. I have a tremendous relationship with Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
He said to me, "What's up, Doc?" He said, "Sir, what's up, Doc, sir?" I said, "You don't have to call me Doc. You could call me Donald." But Bugs Bunny is a tremendous bunny. He does a fantastic job on the baseball field. He plays every position.
He did, yeah.
You look at him, but he does a fantastic job. I get along very well with Roger Rabbit.
Yes.
And what happened to him was horrible, you know. They say, "Sir, who framed Roger Rabbit, sir?" I said, "It was probably the fake news and the Democrats. They frame everybody." But he got a raw deal, and so we gave him a pardon. Because what happened to Roger Rabbit was horrible. It was a complete and total witch hunt, so we gave him a pardon. I got along very well with the Easter Bunny,
yes,
who used to lead Crooked Joe Biden around like a lost puppy. But the Easter Bunny said to me, "Sir, you have the biggest Easter eggs the world has ever seen. They're much bigger than crying Chuck Schumer or Peso Store Obama. You look at Hakeem Jeffries, they have very small Easter eggs, but I have the biggest eggs the world has ever seen. Nobody's ever seen anything like it." I also got along well with Little Bunny Foo-Foo, and I ended the war between Little Bunny Foo-Foo and the field mice. He was bopping him on the head. I said, "You can't do that. You have to stop doing that, or we're going to hit you with tariffs," and we ended that war. You know, you look at it, the peace president, so we get along well with a lot of bunnies.
Oh, God, that's just beautiful. I mean, that is that is comedy right there. That is improvisational comedy. Brilliant. And we're going to have him on. He's Shawn Farash, a regular on Newsmax now, and he is just remarkable. That is, I mean, did you get a kick out of that? Dang it. I mean, unreal. This is kind of interesting. I thought this was kind of cool. We're going to close this out and talk about other stuff here in a second. But Seattle Seahawks players, I don't know if you knew this. They had a little, bunny foo-foo out there doing the halftime show, talking about bumping and grinding and humping and all that stuff. And apparently there's a whole lot of Seattle Seahawks players who are major Christians.
Jesus mean to you? God is love. But whenever you see me, it's a reflection of God.
I am a believer, believe in Christ. I believe I'm here to serve others and to serve the Lord. So.
Wow.
I feel like your faith directs your path. He brings so much joy to my life, that I can truly say, I'm happy waking up each and every day.
God's always had a plan that was way bigger and greater than anything that I've ever imagined. So,
wow.
He died for our sins, you know what I'm saying? So we can live eternal life in heaven.
Jesus is everything to me. He's that unshakable foundation. No matter what happens, football, good, bad, indifferent, I know I always have Jesus to go back to. I know if I ever stray away that he's calling me back. James 1:2-3, consider your pure joy whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that testing of your faith produces perseverance. That's something that I really that's been my lock screen ever since I tore my ACL. Christ is King. Jesus is love. He loves you. He loves me.
He's my Lord and Savior. So I mean, everything I get to do is because of him.
Why not Jesus? You know what I'm saying?
Jesus is always going to love you. He's always going to be there when you need him. He died for you.
Man, anything possible with him, as long as you know.
Remember what I told you about Gen Z? And they try to destroy Gen Z and say that boys can be girls, girls can be boys, and masculinity is toxic, and you should be ashamed to be feminine as a woman, and you should be separated, and we're going to close your schools, and we're going to separate you, and you're going to just listen to government propaganda as you sit at home and learn nothing or do hybrid learning and have to wear a stupid mask. Well, it backfired on them. It backfired on the left. It backfired on them. It made them recognize that human interaction is more important than ever. And then this spiritual rebirth. And I don't necessarily think it's all Christian. Christians are leading the way. Certainly with my Jewish brothers and sisters, I think there's a spiritual awakening too. But we're coming together. And this Bad Bunny episode, it just is an outlier. It just makes the left look ridiculous and awful, and it has backfired majorly on them. It has. And they can say, well, the TV USA event only had this many and that many and this, but this many people watched the Super Bowl. Nobody understood the damn Super Bowl. A lot of them just kept the TV on and went to the bathroom and left it on in the background because nobody can understand the damned show, the music and whatnot. And if they could and had it translated, they would have turned it off and raised hell about it. So there you go. There is that. So, and there's when you deal with conservatives, when they talk about faith, they talk about it from their connection, their personal connection to it, and how it inspires them on a daily basis. And then there are some who are posers, like Andy Bashir, who is, the View is going to get themselves in a lot of hot water because now they're just having exclusively on Democrat candidates for office. And this jackweight is going to be running for president already 3 years out. He is a puppet. He is a mindless toady. Just an empty suit. And here he is using Christianity to say it's okay to surgically mutilate children and pretend they're the opposite sex. This is just using your supposed faith as a badge to flash before you use it to defend an argument that is inhumane and unchristian.
But we rarely talk about the why. People want to know what drives us, especially in a world with social media where everyone's looking for the next authentic thing. For me, that's my faith.
Okay, so the next authentic thing is my faith. Okay, so that is a staged line. That is a set-up line. That line is inauthentic. Okay, the most authentic thing about me is my faith. Are you kidding?
Most of the decisions I make are based on that golden rule that says we love our neighbor as ourselves. Yeah. And that parable of the Good Samaritan that says everyone is our neighbor.
Well, that's what everybody says, actually, if you're a good and decent human being. So you're not unique to this.
Mm-hmm. And so when I've taken actions like vetoing the nastiest piece of anti-LGBTQ legislation that ever came through my state, I described it in those terms. I said my faith teaches me that all children are children of God. And I didn't want people picking on those kids.
Yeah. You should be able to mutilate them sexually and make them eunuchs for life and have them eventually sue the surgeons and the practitioners who mutilated them. Honestly, wow. Broken. Just broken. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. International disputes, inflation, rising national debt, digital currency. There's a never-ending list of reasons gold has risen over 700% in the last 20 years. And a never-ending list of reasons smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals with birch gold. Wasn't that Shawn Farash? More than any other commodity on earth, gold thrives during uncertainty. One of the funniest goddamn things I've ever heard. I wrote him today. It gives you peace of mind, given all of the events that could impact the U.S. economy. See if holding gold in a tax-sheltered IRA or retirement account is right for you. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Just text my name, Rob, to the number 989898 to receive your free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. Birch Gold has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, including this guy right here. Let Birch Gold help you diversify with gold so you too can have peace of mind regardless of uncertainty. Text Rob to 989898. Again, text my name, Rob, to 989898 for Birch Gold.
Joe Hartman of Perry Hall Investment Group. You have a house that you need to sell but not sure how to go about it. We're local and family operated. We bought hundreds of properties from people just like you. We pay top dollar, buy in as-is condition, and best of all, there are no closing costs or real estate commissions to pay. Our process is very simple. We chat over the phone for a few minutes about your property. We'll set up a time to take a look at it, and I'll make you a cash offer right on the spot. Easy as that. We take the inconveniences and the hassle out of the home selling process. Call me today, 410-989-5200. That's 410-989-5200. HousesForCashBaltimore.com. Go check us out now. We buy single-family homes, row homes, townhomes, multi-rentals, and land. It doesn't matter the condition or location. Call 410-989-5200 to receive your offer. I want to earn your trust and business, so don't delay. Call today.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data-managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through March 22nd, switch to Comcast Business and get started with 150 megabit internet for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Or ask how to lock in your rate for 5 years on a qualifying internet bundle and get a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile for a limited time only. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply.
Voter ID is something that a large majority of Americans support. Kentucky does require voters to show an ID for federal and state elections. Where do you fall on the SAVE Act specifically?
Well, I consider myself pragmatic. You know, I think that we can agree that election security is an important thing. But when you create policies that are so onerous, you push people out who have
it's not onerous at all, you empty suit.
The right to vote, who should be able to register. And so I think on any policy, you got to look at what's reasonable.
That's Andy Bashir. He is an empty suit. I mean, just a dim wit, honestly. He is a dim bulb. He is a dim wit. I used to live in Kentucky. I would be embarrassed to live in Kentucky right now because of that fool being the governor. But, of course, that's The View. The View kissing some Democrat butt. They're going to get themselves in some problems because there's nothing entertaining about Andy Bashir. The only reason they're having people like Andy Bashir on the Harpies from Hell show. Gosh darn it, I did it again. The View, they sound so much alike, Harpies from Hell, and The View sounds so much alike. I occasionally, pardon the tongue-tied, it is a little, it's like the city sheriff shot the city marshal. Be careful when you say that on the radio, because you could say something that's scatological, I'll just put it that way, if you're not careful. So I got to be real careful when I talk about the Harpies from Hell. Gosh darn it, I did it again. The View, not the Harpies from Hell show. They sound so much alike. There you go. So they just honestly, wow. And that's another show. Dear Lord, I mean, honestly, they should have a cauldron in the middle of it. She should bring some. One of them should bring some Eye of Newt. The other one should bring some bat wings, and they should dance around with rooster blood. I mean, honestly, they're just. Oh, here we go. They've got a lot of corruption in Congress. You know, we've always wondered how you could go to Washington, D.C. and have two houses and make $174,000 a year when you can't afford to live in Washington, D.C. for $174,000 a year. Turns out that people go to Congress and they end up making a lot of money. And they pass all sorts of, bills for billions and billions of dollars, and then suddenly their worth goes up dramatically. And a couple of those people, one of them is Ilhan Omar. She passed $250 million to feed kids in Minneapolis. I mean, I don't know if you've been to Minneapolis lately, but generally Minnesota, people are fairly healthy, but there's a good deal of obesity up there. Anyway, I guess COVID caused children to starve or whatever. Okay, sure. And so she got $250 million and she just parsed it out. And there were restaurants up there that she did campaign events that they got $9 million, said they served, 10 million meals out of a 4-seater cafe. And nobody looked into it, of course. And finally, the feces is hitting the fan up there, and some people go to jail. But here is Jim Comer once again saying, "Oh yeah, we're going after Ilhan Omar. Whatever. She should already be out of Congress."
We've been informed in the last few hours that the Ethics Committee is probably going to have to be the committee that takes that investigation up. I'm disappointed to learn that. We thought that the Oversight Committee could do that. So we're going to be writing a letter in the morning referring this to the Ethics Committee. And it's a simple investigation, Sean. There are two companies listed.
How about call in the friggin' FBI? How about that, Jimmy boy?
On Omar's husband's financial disclosure form.
Yeah, they had a winery that didn't produce any wine, but it went from like $1,000 in value to $10 million in value in 1 year. Did I mention they didn't make any wine? He also had an investment company with no clients.
Both were one was worth between $1,000 and $5,000, and then the very next year it was worth between $1 and $5 million. Another one was worth, I think, $25,000, and the next year was worth between...
Same goes with some of these daycares in Minnesota that didn't have any children.
$5 and $30 million based...
And yet the owners drove Bentleys.
On the ranges on the financial disclosure form. Either way, those are significant increases in value. We just have questions that any American would have.
Yeah, get the goddamn FBI on this crap. Honestly, I don't want to hear another, we're going to send it to another committee and then we're going to write a letter. It's about time people went to bloody jail. Is what it is. Here's Ayanna Pressley, who, when she's not trying to kill Superman, is being questioned about her wealth because she went from zero. Less until then.
And you are reporting fake news.
No, not at all.
You should be asking.
She's using fake news. Okay, sure.
Well, do your homework. That's how you get.
Yeah, actually, she is.
Clarity.
What should I be asking?
You should do your homework, and that's how you get clarity. Okay. That's how you get clarity. Do your homework.
You're knocking capitalism, but isn't that? Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, somebody just do some sort of a FBI probe of these people. Honestly, it's obvious. You know why I know that a lot of these people in Congress are corrupt? It's because I'm not stupid, and they pass these massive spending bills, and then nothing gets fixed because all they do is enrich themselves and their friends. It's freaking obvious, and there's going to be a point where heads are going to have to roll because this is what we asked. This is what we asked. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now,
I will throw down the audio after the show.
The minimum payment due.
I know. I'm trying to get the damn stream going here, Brian. So. Yeah, I know. We're having stream problems. I don't know what the bloody problem is. Hello, everybody. How are you? Having fun? Did you enjoy that Shawn Farash audio? My God, that was good. That was good. That was good comedy right in there, kids. And you're only going to hear it on this show. Thank you very much. Hello, Prani. How are you? Hello, Julie Dugas. Good to see you, Chris Schwab, over there on the Facebookage. Who's watching on Rumble? Tom K, what up? Round the podium. Melissa McGroin. Melissa McGroin. Hey, it's Melissa McGroin. What are you doing there? I think I saw Mr. McGroin on the Super Bowl halftime. Mr. McGroin was right there. He's Puerto Rican. Gabarelli Jr., hello. Don't believe I've seen you. Janine Page, has been a while since I saw you. But thanks for being here, BO5. Haven't seen you in a while either. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sorry for the streaming problems today, guys. I'm trying to keep it going. I don't know what the deal is. We sold about a dozen seats yesterday. Here we go. What do we got next here? I'm chewing a cough drop. I apologize. Brian Manning, hello. All right, it's time for me to talk again. Here we go.
Only on Talk Radio 680, WCBM, and 99.9 FM in Harford County.
Yeah, about 3.5.
Another congressman who's kind of under fire. Mike McCall, he's a Republican. He makes $20 million a month, owns $20 million private jet plane, makes an average of $24 million every single month, lives in a $10 million mansion, has a over $1 million car collection, Rolls-Royce, Ferrari, even bought a $20 million private jet to fly from his mansion in Texas to D.C. In the last 3 years alone, McCall has traded $567 million in the stock market. I think he needs to be probed as well, and not in the way that Bad Bunny would do it. I'm talking about the FBI. By the way, I've got this thing going with our anchor station here, WCBM in Baltimore. I want to mention this because if you're on the East Coast, you're out in this area. If you can come in, I don't care from wherever. But Thursday, June 11th, we're going to be doing a luxury coach from Baltimore to Gettysburg. And we're going to get a tour of the battlefields and whatnot. We're going to see Little Round Top, Big Round Top, where Lincoln read his Gettysburg Address. A buffet lunch at this place called the Dobbin House, the whole deal. Tickets are $130 for the entire day. Now, ladies, I know you'd pay, just for my company for a few hours, $130. And some of you guys, maybe Bad Bunny's listening. I have no idea. But we're throwing in a historic tour of Gettysburg with the lunch and the whole deal. And again, it's on all in one day. And it's June 11th. If you want to go to WCBM.com, you can buy tickets there. I think we sold a few of them yesterday, a bunch of them actually. I've got it off to a very big start. And on the one bus, I think we got 52 seats available. And so that's going to fill up pretty quickly. I'd love to fill a couple buses up. That'd be kind of cool. We could stop at a restaurant. We could stop at they don't have any Buc-ee's around here. I'd love it if we had a Buc-ee's. We'll find a place to stop around here, and then I can switch buses, and I'll come over to the next bus, and we'll hang out, and then we'll party, and woo, yeah, because I don't drink, but we'll party. It'll be fun, and we'll talk about history and stuff. Again, WCBM.com, if you would like to attend on June the 11th, historic battlefield visit to Gettysburg, and this is a big year for America, obviously. This is 250th year. We're working on a few things. I'm going to try to broadcast from the day after the State of Union from the Capitol, which is later this month. And then we're working on a trip maybe for you guys to come to Washington, D.C. and visit me. I don't know if I have room for all of you in my loft, but we'll make some room for you here somewhere. And it's going to be a big year. July 4th is going to be amazing. Then in August, we're going to be having a Grand Prix race in downtown D.C. So, this is about connecting in what could be and will be, I think, the greatest year in American history. And it certainly is on the way to being that for the economy. Donald Trump talked last night with Larry Kudlow. He's saying that it's going to be a landslide for Republicans in November, which, I don't know, I've been saying for, a few months now. And also that the growth of the GDP could go to 15% after his new Fed chair is put in place. That's coming up. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the right choice for Maryland.
WCBM. Right back.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The battle over funding for the Department of Homeland Security continues on Capitol Hill. In testimony before the House Homeland Security Committee, Customs and Border Protection Commissioner Rodney Scott said his force is facing unprecedented intimidation.
These attacks on federal law enforcement personnel are coordinated and well funded. This is not peaceful protest. No law enforcement officer should be put at personal risk simply for doing the job that we have asked them to do.
Republicans and Democrats, meanwhile, remain bitterly divided over the issue of federal agents wearing masks.
Facing Friday's midnight deadline, lawmakers are locked in a debate over funding Homeland Security. And a central question is whether to ban face masks by immigration enforcement officers. The House Democratic leader says unmasking the federal agents is a hard red line in the negotiations. But most Republicans say the current political climate leaves the immigration officers exposed to harassment if their faces and identities are made public. Clugston, Washington.
It is a strong session so far on Wall Street. The Dow's up 222 points. NASDAQ up about 13. Shoppers throttled back their spending in December from the month before.
The Commerce Department report raises questions about shoppers' willingness to spend this year as they worry about a slowing job market, among other things. Retail sales were flat in December from November, when business was up 0.6%.
That's Rich Thomason reporting. 6,000 public school teachers went on strike yesterday in San Francisco.
It's the city's first such walkout in nearly 50 years. The strike comes after teachers and the district failed to reach an agreement over higher wages, health benefits, and more resources for students with special needs. The San Francisco Unified School District closed all 120 of its schools and said it would offer independent study to some of its 50,000 students.
It's correspondent Bill Alexander reporting. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. A lot of us are thinking about taxes, home projects we've been putting off, ways to get ahead financially in 2026. Now's the perfect time to talk to my friends at Fellowship Home Loans. If you want to lower your mortgage payment, they can help you refinance. If you need access to cash for home improvements or to wipe out high-interest debt, their fixed-rate line of credit is one of the best tools out there. Fast approval, predictable rate, and flexibility to use your home's equity wisely. Remember, many people still qualify to skip their next two mortgage payments. Imagine starting big projects or paying down debt with 2 months of breathing room. My family and I have used Fellowship personally. I trust these guys. Take control of 2026. Go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G. fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G. fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE. That's 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
Good afternoon, it's 1:03. I'm Maggie Hunter with the latest headlines from the WCBM Maryland News Center. The Harford County Board of Education will not renew the contract of Superintendent Dr. Shawn Bolson. The board is enacting a unilateral termination clause in Bolson's contract, allowing for his termination within 30 days written notice. Instead of severance, Bolson will receive his salary and benefits until his contract ends in June. Bolson was on paid administrative leave after school-owned property was allegedly stolen at the 2024 National School Board Association Conference in New Orleans. The hotel recovered the items from Bolson's room and returned them. The school district's IT director examined the devices and determined there was no breach. An inmate serving time at the Jessup Correctional Institution has been sentenced to another life term for killing his cellmate. 64-year-old Wallace Ball pleaded guilty to a first-degree murder charge. Sports and the Fox 45 Weather Authority forecast next.
Hi, I'm Reese Friedman. On behalf of the law offices of Michael Friedman, the personal injury firm that specializes in auto accidents. Combining modern technology such as a phone app and a comprehensive interactive website with old-school service such as returning phone calls and always having a live voice on the other end result in successful representation. For a free consultation, call 410-363-6848 or email us directly from maflaw.com. The law offices of Michael Friedman, serving the community for over 40 years.
Hi, I'm Dr. Amanda Young, gerontologist and CEO of Wesley Secure Care. And one thing I hear all the time is, I'm healthy, I'll never need long-term care. The truth is, planning early keeps you independent longer, and we make it simple. So before you tell me you'll never need help, let's at least make sure that's a choice and not a surprise. Learn more about how Wesley Secure Care can help you plan smart and stay at home. Visit wesleysecurecare.org
Since I've
today.
taken Relief Factor, the results
Baseball
have been
season is
just
fast
amazing.
approaching.
I actually
Pitchers
walk
and
4
catchers
miles a
across
day,
Major
5 to
League
6 days
Baseball
a
are
week.
set to
No
report
pain
to
at
spring
all going
training this week.
downstairs.
What's wrong with Don
Very
Lemon?
active
Orioles
playing
and
golf, and
Nationals
it's
will
been
have
really
players arrive on
just
Wednesday with
unbelievable.
full squad workouts
change
set to
I've had
begin
in
on
the pain,
February
in my
16th.
knee.
And
I
now
hope
here's a
that
look at the
someone who's
Fox
experienced the same
45
type of
Weather
pain
Authority forecast.
gives
From the
Relief
Fox
Factor a try, and I guarantee if you get the results that I have, you'll be very happy. I'm going to continue using the product because I am now pain-free.
Don't wait. If you're dealing with daily pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. Go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain? I don't know what the problem is, but we're having some problems maintaining the stream today. It's a little bit ridiculous. But this is the value of terrestrial radio and all of our glorious affiliates, because KSCO in Santa Cruz doesn't have a problem with their stream, and they've been around for decades. You know, right? WCBM is been around for many decades. It doesn't have a problem with its stream. No, it's working just fine. All my Benny media stations in New Hampshire. Even when it's cold, that stream is strong, baby. That stream is strong. But for some reason, we're having some interweb issues today. I don't know what the deal is, but whatever. Maybe it's Bad Bunny. Maybe he's humping our interwebers. I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on. Bad Bunny. Dear God. There are adults who... There's a man who called himself Bad Bunny. He thought that was a good move. I mean, he's making a lot of money as Bad Bunny, but what the hell has culture come to where a man, I'm Bad Bunny, stop it, and I'm gonna spread your football in half with a halftime show. This is our society. A man called Bad Bunny. I know. Wow. Oh. U.S. ships are warned to stay as possible from Iran's waters in the Strait of Hormuz after boarding attempts. U.S. flagged ships have been advised to stay as far as possible from Iranian waters. when navigating the Strait of Hormuz as tensions between Washington and Tehran remain elevated. I just keep poking that pit bull, Ayatollah. I want to shove a missile right up your halftime. I'll just put it that way. But there you go. Should Iranian forces aboard a U.S.-flagged commercial vessel crews were advised not to publicly, forcefully resist the boarding party. It added that refraining from forcible resistance does not imply consent. Did I stray into the Epstein files here? What did I just stray into there? But anyway, they're saying to stay away from the Straits of Hormuz. Also, J.D. Vance visit Armenia. First time, Armenia Vice President J.D. Vance landed Monday in Armenia, a country that with no sitting U.S. Vice President or President has visited before, as the Trump administration offered economic opportunities when it works to advance a U.S. brokered deal aimed at ending a decades-long conflict with Azerbaijan. I worked with an Armenian woman. Her name was Chili Amar for about 10 years at a radio station in Washington, D.C. And she, told me a lot about the Armenians, how there was and I don't know, for some reason, there was a genocide against the Armenians back at the turn of the last century, and Turkey did it, and everybody's been denying it ever since. So I've had a soft spot in my heart for the Armenians. I've been to one of their an Armenian, it's like a Russian Orthodox church kind of thing. I went to her wedding there and her mother's funeral there, and it was pretty cool. I mean, the funeral wasn't cool, but it was a beautiful service. So there is that. There was a lot of filth and corruption being exposed nationwide by Democrats who have spent trillions of our dollars and just stolen the money. This is why things never get fixed. They increase the size of government, never gets fixed. And it's becoming nakedly obvious across the country in municipalities states like California, Maine, and whatnot, just robbing us completely blind. Let me see. I've got this soundbite. This is from Dr. Oz, Mehmet Oz. He's with HHS. And this autism thing in Minnesota. There are a lot of people lying about having Minnesota. They're Somalians up there, and they came to the United States, invited in because they were refugees starting about 30 years ago, and the Democrat Party figured out that they were willing accomplices to crime, and so they would just take and steal and create fake charities and create pretend to have autism cases. Their children pretend their children had autism so they could pocket some money, and then the people in charge of the fake autism charity or whatever would send millions and millions of dollars back to Somalia. That's just the way it happened. It's the truth. You see, it's the truth. And then you see in places like California, they've decided to do the same thing with end of life care, with hospice care. And it turns out like the Russian mafia is running it, and it is robbing us blind, and these people generally vote Democrat whether legally or not. That's just the way it is. But here's Dr. Oz talking about the autism scam that is now in Maine.
We might have another Minnesota on our hands. Remember that state's program for children with autism, the one where Somali fraudsters set up fake treatment centers and stole millions of taxpayer dollars?
And the Somali parents played along and pretended like their kids had autism, so they should be deported as well.
Well, the same thing appears to be happening in Maine. 2 weeks ago, Health and Human Services investigators released a report on Maine's autism program in which they identified at least $45 million in improper payments. But that's not all.
What?
They learned that the program's payouts increased more than 50% in just 4 years.
You would wonder why normally that, I don't know, some state authorities or law enforcement would get. That's kind of weird.
They found that treatment centers are clustered in small geographic areas.
Yeah, it's strip malls and stuff.
Just like it did in Minnesota.
Weird.
They reviewed paperwork that was missing crucial information, like whether the kids receiving these services had been properly diagnosed with autism in the first place.
Yeah, you kind of need to know that if you're going to treat kids for autism.
100% of the claims they examined had problems. And most troubling of all, they discovered that Maine had never conducted a statewide review of its autism program.
Yeah, and they want to do the same damned thing in the state of Virginia. One of the bills proposed by this radical leftist lying crazy Karen, Abigail Spamberger, and these Marxists in the state legislature is that they want to give as much money to charity as possible with no oversight, no ability to oversee, no ability to question their finances and how the money is being used. That's your Democrat Party. No matter where you live, this is your Democrat Party. They are corrupt to the nth degree. Absolutely disgusting. But you want to take disgusting to a new level, and I'm not talking about the halftime show this year at the Super Bowl. Dick Shirley decides to go out to California, and he's just moseying around because he heard about this homeless industrial complex. And he's got this golf cart tour with a guy who goes out and gives Narcan to homeless people on the street who are ODing. And oddly enough, the same guy handing out the Narcan to stop the OD also is giving out needles, so when the OD is over, they can start shooting up again. Now, Elon Musk referred to this earlier. I'm going to share his audio, but listen to Nick Shirley on the street with a man dying of fentanyl poisoning on the street.
This guy is he's passed out right now. How do we know that he is still alive and that he doesn't need Narcan right now?
He's breathing. You see his chest rising, and it's going up and down, and his color's good. Now, if he's blue, he's not responsive, his color's gone, he'd be like a blue, gray, purple color.
Yeah.
Then you know he's overdosing.
Yeah.
Okay. So the most important thing is to hit him with Narcan. Doesn't matter how much Narcan you give him. You know, if you got 3 in here,
you got to keep him alive so you can give him some more drugs.
Give him all 3 and rescue breaths.
Okay, so what's in here? What's inside this bag?
Okay, so
what a life for that human being.
This Narcan you inject into their nose and it brings them back to life.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
While I was talking to the guy about Narcan, my friend Tommy was also talking to another guy in the cart about some other things, and I think you guys are all going to find this very strange what he received from the people on the cart.
They're talking to the people over there in the van, and they're giving out free stuff. They're giving out the Narcan to save people, and then they're also giving out needles. And what's the idea of giving out needles and the rubber bands?
This is so they could do the drugs without worrying about disease, so everyone gets a clean needle.
That's how many needles inside there? There's
27, 10 of them.
There's 10 needles inside of this bag right here.
You get everything, the whole kit. You get the rubber band, you get the alcohol, you get the cotton swabs, but then this is what you actually put it in.
This is 1,000,000% evil. Keeping someone barely alive. Do you know why? Because they're worth a lot of money. Here's Elon Musk.
Homeless implies that somebody got a little behind on their mortgage payments, and if they just got a job offer, they'd be back on their feet. But someone who's totally dead inside, shuffling along down the street with a needle dangling out of their leg, taking a dump in the middle of the streets, they're not like one job offer away from getting back on their feet. These sort of charities, they get this money. The money is proportionate to the number of homeless people. Their incentive structure is to maximize the number of drug zombies, not minimize it. That's why they don't arrest the drug dealers. Because if they arrest the drug dealers, the drug zombies leave, and they would stop getting money from the state of California and from all the charities. This is a diabolical scam. You're taxing on any money going through the system in San Francisco, and that money goes to the homeless industrial complex. When you add up all the money that's flowing, they're getting close to $1 million per drug zombie. It's like $900,000, something like some crazy amount of money is going to these organizations. So they want to keep people just barely alive. They need to keep them in the area so they get the revenue. They don't arrest the drug dealers because otherwise the drug zombies would leave. If they get too much drugs, then they die. So they're kept in this perpetual zone of being addicted but just barely alive.
He's just described hell. He's just described what hell is like. And Democrats and politicians and these NGOs have created hell on earth. And they need to be exorcised. And they need to be thrown in jail for the rest of their bloody lives. This is not America. This is not humanity. This must be ended. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Somalis are all on welfare, and the Dems just seem to not care. Ilhan Omar, she needs to go. GTFO, GTFO, GTFO. Many are anti-Semitic. Their statements have been pathetic. They're a threat to all you know. GTFO, GTFO, GTFO. They are always expressing hate of America. Why are they here? Must deport before it's too late. Talk about holiday cheer. Our language, they will not learn it. Own money, refuse to earn it. They are gaming the system so. GTFO, GTFO, GTFO.
With the actions he's taken, Jacob Bright is making Minneapolis a clown town. Ice fries are bows and wild Tim Wolves is does, and city has become a clown town. Ilhan Omar's hiding fraud, Keith Ellison's obstructing a war on law enforcement. Jacob Price conducting Tampon Tim is so incompetent. Most Minnesotans want no more of him. It's a clown town, Minneapolis, clown town. It's far from fabulous, clown town. Once great cities become clown town, clown town.
God,
680
thanks,
WCBM.
I thought the line was funny, and I said allegedly.
Gonna rejoin.
One thing I would like to see updated is the word homeless to the word unhoused.
How about new?
And it doesn't end at autism and end-of-life care, hospice care. No. It's also about infrastructure projects that never get built. Reason Magazine did a little story about the high-speed rail debacle.
In 2008, Proposition 1A promised an 800-mile high-speed rail connecting
in California,
San Francisco to San Diego. It would take 12 years, involve 2 phases, and the line from LA to San Francisco would cost only $33 billion. Meanwhile, consultants cashed in. One report found the average engineering consultant on the project earned $427,000 a year, while the state's own engineers earned $131,000. By 2014, it ballooned into a $68 billion project. project riddled by lawsuits, planning and construction errors, and waste. So in 2019, Governor Gavin Newsom announced the project as planned wasn't going to happen. Instead, they would focus on the 171 miles between Bakersfield and Merced, two places not on anyone's bucket list.
Nobody
because
cared.
without it, California would be forced to return $3.5 billion in federal funding. The feds took one look at that plan and wanted their money back. They settled a 2-year legal battle in 2021, and the Biden administration restored the grant under the condition California must deliver one high-speed rail route by the end of 2033.
Sure.
And they also gave them another $3 billion in funding, which
go.
was needed because by now the train was set to cost $113 billion.
Wow.
So in June of 2025, the U.S. Department of Transportation issued a 300-page compliance review showing the rail authority has at least a $7 billion funding gap, no viable path to completion by 2033, and they grossly inflated ridership numbers.
Yeah, because they just made themselves rich. That's what they do. They never get anything done. Gavin Newsom for prison. What do you say?
Callie Loeffler just released evidence that we've been fleeced.
13,000 businesses.
PPP loans.
Yeah.
What a scam.
They were all fraudulent.
Biden did not give a damn.
Nope.
California, fraud occurred.
Or whenever you were born, our mothers would have died because we're just regular growing boys. I want to say that the current and the force behind this is all these Karens in America.
Oh, yes.
And now all over the world wanting all boys to be diagnosed with autism just across the board.
Or ADHD, by the way, which is bullcrap, actually. I like to say that, they got a thing called ADD, attention deficit disorder, right? That's what they call it. And I like to say that people who can sit and read a book for 8 hours have a disorder of their own. It's called attention surplus syndrome. You figure out the acronym there, okay? There you go.
Right, yeah. The thing is that these crazy Karens have created a force now that is not stoppable except if there's severe enforcement on every level because they're just saying all boys are autistic and they're writing books and sitting there all smiling about how messed up their sons are and they're writing books and getting rich.
I got you.
Giving interviews on Dr. File. I call him Dr. File. This is just, across the board. They're going to have all male kids diagnosed with, I used to do heavy training when I was very young. And I would have been diagnosed with autism just because of that.
All right. Listen, George, got to run. Thank you for the phone call. Do appreciate it. It kind of makes you wonder. Now, I know that we've said that there was a lot more autism out there than when we were kids, like Gen X, okay? Autism was not around. There was a kid up the street. I used to go see his mom, and he was 6 years old. I was 10 or 12, and I'd go up just to, talk to him, and he was a wonderful little kid, and I'd, play with him and keep him entertained and everything, and I'd leave, and he'd cry and all this, but he was on the spectrum of some type, and, I just felt like I wanted to enrich his life a little bit. I don't know, as a kid, whatever. But it was rare. It was a rare thing to see something like that. And then all of a sudden, it's everybody's got it. So you got to kind of wonder how much of this is real, how much of it is fake. Clearly, the number of autism cases has increased, but has it increased to the level we think it has? Because clearly, autism has been used as an ability to claim autism and steal, rob from us blind. That's just the way they are. They're just doing things. So, anyway, it is an interesting perspective. Thanks for the phone call, George. Do appreciate it. Coming up, we're going to be talking to Hilary Fordwich. Hilary Fordwich, there's a good deal of debate about how the Epstein files are impacting the royal family. Prince Andrew, apparently, he's been moved out, kicked out of the royal castle and all that, where the hell he lived, and he's had his title stricken from him. But apparently there are some other people who are in jeopardy because of it. I don't understand all of it. I haven't been paying a lot of attention to the Epstein files because the Democrats have been using it as a political cudgel against Donald Trump, even though there's nothing there. But apparently it is reaching the royal family. It is reaching Keir Starmer. And I'm going to have it cleared up with Hilary Fordwich, who's always awesome as a correspondent representing Great Britain. She works with the GB News. She also works on Newsmax, among other things. So she's going to join us on that. And then a little bit later on, going to get into Democrat cities. 5 largest U.S. cities in the country run by Democrats are bankrupt. They are bankrupt. And I'll share which ones they are. Yeah, New York right on top of there. Chicago right up on there. I'll tell you the other ones as well on the other side. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show.
Hello, my name is Brian Delatry, and I started taking Relief Factor just about a year ago. I was having chronic knee pain over time. It just got worse and worse. Just walking downstairs was painful. Well, since I've taken Relief Factor, the results have been just amazing. I actually walk 4 miles a day, 5 to 6 days a week. No pain at all going downstairs. Very active playing golf, and it's been really just unbelievable in the change I've had in the pain in my knee. Hope that someone who's experienced the same type of pain gives Relief Factor a try. And I guarantee if you get the results that I have, you'll be very happy. I'm going to continue using the product because I am now pain-free.
Don't wait. If you're dealing with daily pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. Go to ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain?
He's run Minnesota in the ground. Massive fraud Timmy never found. Billions lost. Oh, what a cost. Goodness gracious, Walls is in trouble. He's obstructing ICE every day. He wants illegals to get their way. Out of control. He has no soul. Goodness gracious, Walls is in trouble. Tim is thinking they might impeach him. Should be resigning. For Minnesota, he has done no good. It's sad, so sad. As governor, he's been bad, 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 bad. Many calls for Tim Walz to step down. Minnesota can't afford this clown. Throw him in jail, deny him bail. Goodness gracious, Walz is in trouble. His impeachment is an absolute must. Tim has lost the people's trust. He's gotta go, 'cause we all know, goodness gracious, Walz is in trouble.
Hey guys, it's Carson for Quince. A well-built wardrobe is about pieces that work together and hold up over time. That's what Quince does best. Premium materials, thoughtful design, everyday staples that feel easy to wear, even as the weather shifts. Quince has everyday essentials. I love the quality that lasts, by the way. Organic cotton sweaters, polos for every occasion, lighter jackets that keep you warm in the changing season. The list goes on. Now, Quince works directly with top factories and cuts out the middleman. So you're not paying for brand markup, just quality clothing. Everything is built to hold up to daily wear and still look good season after season. I have a great wool blazer that has the ladies turning their heads, even if they're not looking at me. And then, of course, a cashmere sweater, ridiculously soft, doesn't cost a fortune as well. Refresh your wardrobe with Quince. Go to quince.com/newsmax for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's quince.com, QUINCE.com/newsmax. Free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/newsmax.
What can make us safer?
What can make us safer?
In the hemisphere.
In the hemisphere.
What can force the Russians and Chinese to watch their rear? Greenland.
Greenland.
Oh yes, Greenland can.
Greenland can.
We'd like to buy it and make it so much better, like we said we would. A deal I'd like to make, I don't want to take Greenland with the military. Hope that isn't necessary. A conflict there would be quite scary. What could be strategic?
What could be strategic?
To the USA.
To the USA.
Come to the table, Denmark. We could make a deal today for Greenland.
Greenland.
You should sell us Greenland.
Sell us Greenland.
Sell us Greenland because a hefty price we are prepared to pay. After we own Greenland, the Panama Canal will also be in play.
Newsmax hotline is Hilary Fordwich. She works with GB New on this glorious Tuesday.
Yes, smashing. Thank you.
don't know if she's actually exacerbated the problem or she's just the perfect match for him. But fortunately, his brother in
for, doing the dirty.
Yeah, we saw Austin Powers. There's 3 movies. That's how Americans know that word.
Okay. But some people may not. So I mean, which mother on the face of the earth, and for every one of our listeners, I hope no one's married to the kind of woman, or no one's the mother of their children, and no mother listening to this would ever talk to anybody about that, let alone put it in an email, let alone put it in an email to a pedophile, let alone then take some money from an airfare from a pedophile. So she's a ghastly grifter. That's what I can say about her.
Unbelievable. I was confusing Prince Harry, by the way, earlier. Prince Harry with his wife, because he's a case. I mean, he does not have the moral fortitude to assume the throne. He's an embarrassment, I think. I think he's an embarrassment. His wife is an embarrassment. They're awful people. Awful and talentless, I might add that as well. Awful and talentless. But his brother and his wife are wonderful people. That said, I'm noticing Keir Starmer trending today on Twitter. Keir Starmer out, among other things, people going off on it. Why are so many people turning against Starmer, other than the fact that he's a globalist and a moron?
Well, he is. You're correct there again, Rob, on both counts, a globalist. And saying he's a moron actually is a compliment in a way. He's very smart at what he does, which is the ability to destroy the British nation. He has furthered, when you say globalism, yes, absolutely. He's sat there watching obviously the migrants continue to come and to basically destroy the British nation. But what I would say is the reason why so many are turning against him is he's in a lose-lose situation with regard to this, related to Epstein, with regard to what I started out mentioning, Lord Mendelsohn. The reason he's in a lose-lose situation is either he was totally cognizant of everything to do with what Mendelsohn was doing at the time with Epstein, in which case that's ghastly, he should be outed, or he was oblivious and had no clue.
Yes.
Well, you don't want a prime minister who's oblivious, who has no clue. So again, he's in a lose-lose situation.
Yes. Well, kind of like Tim Walz in a different situation, but Tim Walz in Minnesota. Either he knew everything about it, or he is the most ignorant. He's either corrupt or profoundly ignorant. It sounds like a little bit of both. I'd like to continue the conversation on the other side of the break and see where this goes for Starmer, because obviously the British political system is much different. You've got a wonderful man waiting in the wings to be Prime Minister, who we have had the opportunity to meet. And I'd like to know where do you suppose this goes from here? Hilary Fordwich, if you could hold on, it would be great. I'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show. It's the Rob Carson Show. I'm Hilary Fordwich. Great GB News, by the way. GB News, also Newsmax, and an authority on all things Great Britain, among other things. Nigel Farage waiting in the wings, hopefully to be the next British Prime Minister. Keir Starmer said he's not going anywhere, but bookies claim his time is already up, according to MSN, facing calls to resign from inside and outside his party over appointment of now disgraced Ambassador Lord Peter Mendelsohn. Told his closest allies on Monday he will not step down. What does your gut tell you, Hilary? I know you have very good instincts about these sort of things.
Well, thank you so much. And you mentioned the networks I'm on. Yes, you're right, GB News, Newsmax, but I also do Sky News Australia.
Oh, yes.
Gabriella's Power Hour. So she'd be upset if I didn't mention her.
I do enjoy that network, by the way. I do enjoy that network quite a bit.
Yes, it's great. Gabriella's great, too.
Yeah.
But now to your question. So what my instincts say is, even though he has declared that, I think his exact words were that he's won every fight he's ever been in, it's one thing to try to continue, but when his chief of staff has already quit as well, by the way, as well as other ministers, it will become a groundswell. Now, the system is very different in the UK than in the US. Elections here are every 4 years, and that's it, right? Unless something happens to the president and the vice president takes over. But there's always going to be 4 years. In the UK, what's different is it's the longest a party can be in power is 5 years, but a prime minister can call an election at any given moment. Like literally, he could call an election tomorrow if he wanted, and then he would know that Labour would lose, and then he'd be sort of thinking all the other ministers around him. So would he do that? I think that's rather dire. I don't think that he'll do that. When I take a step back and think, what does Keir Starmer's going to act in Keir Starmer's interest? He always has done. What does he want in the long run? What he wants, I'm pretty sure, my instincts tell me, is one of these big sort of like, he's like a Blairite, like Tony Blair, wants a big sort of global role with one of these, global organizations, I don't know, the United Nations, or, something maybe in the EU, since he's so pro-Europe, ironically, even I don't know if he can, given that the United Kingdom is no longer a member. But he wants a global role. As you mentioned so aptly earlier, Rob, he's a globalist. So now to do that, he has to go out with as much dignity as he possibly can. So I do think at some juncture, I don't think he can last until August, I think it's August 15th of 29. That's when the Parliament would, unless he calls an election or the Prime Minister calls an election. So can he last to 29? I highly doubt it.
Wow.
What I would be watching for is how does he gracefully, with some kind of great dignity, so that he can go on to a bigger global role, extricate himself from this.
And
he doesn't want to go down with the ship.
And do you suppose that would mean that our friend Mr. Farage would have a good opportunity to assume the position?
Well, I do think if a general election is called, yes, UK Reform Party is in a great position. I think it's highly likely because the polls are in their favor, but never rule out same things happen here in the US. All these, here we have the gerrymandering of districts, and they've pulled all sorts of things in the UK, like local councils in certain areas that they think will go reform weren't allowed to vote. It really has become very democratic over there. And in fact, I believe that Reform did much better last time and should have had many more parliamentary seats than they actually even had. So I would watch for that, but I think, yes, he's poised to be, and if he could be the next a prime minister with Donald Trump, then I think you're saving the Western world. But that's
100%.
Another reason that Keir Starmer isn't going to want to go.
100%.
He's going to want to, instead, he's going to step aside, not call an election, step aside, let somebody else take over with the hope, Labour will hope they will be able to keep their necks above the parapet until 29.
Well, they've got to do something to Great Britain. It has been overtaken by Islamists running the country's largest cities. It is 100%. I'm not afraid to say it. People are so afraid to be considered Islamophobic, but it's a plan by radical Islam, and it is extended to our shores in places like New York City. That is now becoming a hell on earth with a man-child in charge of the city. Hilary Fordwich, always glorious to catch you and have you on the show with your expertise. I appreciate you. Make sure to watch you Sky News, Newsmax, and of course GB News as well. Any place else?
Thank you. That's good. I have a YouTube channel and I'm on X, but I really appreciate being on, Rob. Thank you for having me.
All right. Take care of yourself. We'll talk soon. All right, there you go. Oh, you want to hear a headline? This is pretty interesting. Why gold revaluation charts put prices at $25,000 to $55,000. What? If history rhymes, silver poised for a breakout as well. Wow. Gold and silver enter a new high volatility regime. Prices for gold and silver amid active geopolitics. It's a good time to buy gold. Right now, gold is about $5,000 an ounce. It went down to about 46, popped right back up. Boom. But it was at 5,600 a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I would call that volatility. People are buying and selling. People are looking at it as a hot commodity. Maybe you should be on the inside. Gold has gone up 700% over the last 20 years, a never-ending list of reasons. Smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals with Birch Gold. More than any other commodity on earth, gold thrives during uncertainty. And these are certainly uncertain times, aren't they? See if gold, holding gold is in a tax-sheltered retirement account is right for you. You can just text my name, Rob, to 989898 for Birch Gold. Get the ball rolling. They will give you information, get no obligation, just useful information, A+ rating from the BBB. Tens of thousands of satisfied customers, including this guy right here. I'm pointing at myself, of course. Text Rob to 989898. Again, Rob to 989898 for Birch Gold. Do it today. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Carson. New year. Maybe you got a new device for Christmas. Maybe you need new protection. Time to protect new and old devices with cybersecurity solutions that set you up for success. In the new year, choose WebRoot Total Protection. WebRoot has lightning-fast antivirus that includes Password Manager, Web Threat Shield, protecting your device personal information, passwords from malware, ransomware, phishing attempts. No matter how old your technology, they're always looking to take you down. Protect new and old devices. Now 60% off for a limited time. Go to WebRoot.com/Carson. If you got a new device, protect it with WebRoot Essentials, the #1 antivirus on the market. All right, I got to talk. Right. Streamers, I apologize, guys. I've been very busy. The stream is up and down and all that, and it's pissing me off. Anyway, hello, Pat Carr. Hello, Pat Carr. Hello, you YouTubers over there, America Marcy and whatnot. I am so sorry for the streaming issues today. I don't know what the problem is. My producer, Ken Redneck MacGyver, appears to have taken care of it. So there you go. I thought Hilary was good today. She's got useful information. Again, I was a little distracted because of all the nonsense going on. But here we go. We are back. And better than ever. I hate it when we have little wrenches thrown into the system, but we'll get them figured out. We will get them figured out. What am I going to talk about next here? Oh, I got to do that. All right, here we go. No. Okay, here we go. All right. Pat Carr. What's going on? Gary McGovern, America Marcy, how you doing? Jamie Bellette. I'll be a little more focused next hour when everything's working. Here we go.
I'm about 420 here.
420, dude. So the 5 largest U.S. cities don't have enough money to pay their bills, all run by Democrats. No, big surprise, right? Los Angeles, Houston, Philadelphia, Chicago, New York, all hellholes because of Democrats. According to data, New York City residents have the highest taxpayer burden of $62,000. Chicagoans, $42,000. Philadelphians, $17,000. Houstonians, $4,800. Los Angeles, $1,300. Really? New York City includes its school district in the financial reports. Chicago Public Schools reported separately. If Chicago and the public school system were combined, it would significantly change Chicago's reported numbers. This structural differences can obscure what is included in its financial reporting, blah, blah, blah. Combined, the 5 cities have $144 billion in assets. Their combined debt, including unfunded pension and other post-employment benefits, $384 billion. The combined shortfall was $240 billion, according to their analysts. This included $92 billion in pension fund, $112 billion in retiree health care. There you go. Way to go. Way to manage everything. The warmth of collectivism. Zoran Mandami decided that he was going to stop the police from dismantling homeless encampments so the homeless would stay out on the streets and everything. And with the latest cold snap, 18 people have died. 18 people have died. Yeah. Zoran Mandami been the mayor for a little over a month. During that time, 18 homeless people have frozen to death from exposure in New York City. Isn't that nice? And then there's this. I don't know if you've been to New York City. New York City is a deeply religious area. A lot of Catholics, a lot of Jews, and now a lot of Muslims. Zoran Mandami disses Catholics by breaking decades of tradition and skipping the Archbishop's ceremony. Zoran Mandami committed a cardinal sin last week by dissing millions of area Catholics as the first mayor in nearly 100 years and possibly forever to skip the local Archbishop installation. Ronald Hicks, 58, replaced the Cardinal Dolan. I'd love to meet that guy before he leaves the planet. Became the 11th Archbishop of the New York Archdiocese since 1850, accepting the reins of power from Cardinal Timothy Dolan. St. Patrick's Cathedral, which is a glorious place. I've been there many times. One of the event's traditions dating back to 1939, when then New York Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia attended the installation of famous top clergyman Cardinal Francis Spellman. Has been the attendance of the Big Apple sitting mayor, but Zoran Mandami missed it, because he would probably spontaneously combust like a vampire being splashed with holy water in the church. When another reporter asked City Hall about the giant misstep, Mandami replied, Mazami Rep said, the mayor didn't go, but he tweeted about it, as if taking a few seconds to absolve him of what critics call a thumb in the eye of Catholics everywhere. And it's intentional. All of this is intentional. All of this is intentional. What did I tell you about Zoran Mandami? Above all else, above being a socialist, above being a communist, above being a pro-LGBTQIA plus person, he is an Islamist. He is a dangerous, dangerous Islamist. He is an anti-Semite. He is also a spoiled, entitled child who's never had a real job, and somebody decided to give a first grader the keys to the school bus, and right now it's beginning to careen off into a ravine, taking New York City with it. So there you go. All right, on the other side of the break, Rob Finnerty, Newsmax, first American news organization to go to Venezuela after Maduro's extraction. Rob Finnerty interviewed one of the leaders of the country. I'm going to Rob Schmidt, from Newsmax, going to be sharing that on the other side of the break. Jasmine Crockett says she's an intellectual. Everything about her says the opposite. That's on the other side of the break. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the right choice for Maryland. Radio 680.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Authorities investigating the disappearance of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy, more than a week ago, have released the first surveillance images today showing a masked person on her porch the day she went missing. Earlier, correspondent Ty O'Neill filed this report from outside Nancy Guthrie's house.
Neighbors in this quiet community continue with their daily routines, stopping by to see what, if anything, is happening. A memorial of flowers and notes grows by her mailbox. The sheriff had said investigators would continue to go back and forth from the house, gathering evidence and searching for clues after she was last seen here on January 31st. The FBI says it hasn't identified any suspects or persons of interest in her disappearance.
FBI Director Kash Patel
But, so you ask a question. A president that's won, even a popular president, somebody that's done well. I'm popular and I've done well. I mean, I think we have the greatest economy actually ever in history. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. That's said by everybody. We have the hottest country in the world. I guess I have to sell that because we should win in a landslide, and we'll do everything we can to do it.
Yeah. And I think there's a very good chance of it, to be quite honest. You know, and I'm not going to take anything for granted. Trust me on this. I know this. But I'm going to tell you at the same damn time, I'm not one of these sky is falling Republicans who immediately goes, oh my God, the world is ending. Shut up. We've got to overwhelm the left with positivity, joy, and patriotism. I'll handle the mockery, ridicule, and satire, and let Donald Trump handle the butt kicking. How's that sound? I think it sounds like a pretty good idea. Here is Donald Trump talking about the new Fed chair coming up in June, by the way, and this is a great thing because this is going to mean a reduction in interest rates, I believe, and it will be a buyer's market for housing.
When did you, in your heart and mind, when did you know you wanted Kevin Warsh?
So
officially it was 2 Fridays ago, but when did you?
Well, I made a mistake. He was runner-up, if you want to say that.
He was a finalist.
Yeah, he was, and I made a mistake because I had somebody that was my Secretary of the Treasury wanted him so badly, and you know, I didn't feel good about him. But sometimes you listen to people, and it was a mistake. It was really a big mistake. But I think we're going to do something that's really spectacular. We should be at 15%. Yeah. I'll tell you, if our new head of the Fed, who I think is going to be great, and he's a really high-quality person, but if he does the job that he's capable, we can grow at 15%. I think more than that.
Do you know why? Because he's doing everything right. You can't say that, Donald Trump. You're just saying that because you kissed Donald Trump's butt. No, he's the first president to do what he's doing. He's thus far got $18 trillion of investment coming back to the United States. He's giving businesses the opportunity to write every one of their material investments in new factories and whatnot, every bit of it this year. He is cutting regulation. He has brought down the price of energy. He has shut down the southern border. He is allowing people to write off the interest of their American-made vehicle. He's getting rid of a tax on tips and overtime. He's getting rid of a tax on your Social Security benefits. He's doing things no one has ever tried before as president. It should be obvious to anyone with common sense because it's a wish list for anyone who would think that you want the country to succeed and to accelerate at light speed, and he's doing what we've dreamed of for the last 60 years. And the Democrat Party is recognizing in him that they are going to be out of power for a very long time because he's doing a great job and he's doing unprecedented things that are absolutely amazing. It is. It's just the way it is. And I know this because I'm right about these things. Because I have common sense life experience and I work my butt off to prepare for this show every single day. Here is, by the way, Rob Finnerly last night had on Markwayne Mullin. Because you got these Democrats who are screeching and yelling about ICE. They want ICE gotten rid of. And the reason they want to get rid of ICE is because they love illegal votes. This is how they managed to stay in power. The Democrat Party is broken. They are broken. They cannot win elections on issues because they have no issues. What has the Democrat Party promised you lately? The Democrat Party is nothing but the opposite of Trump right now. That's the way it is. They used to promise you this, promise you that, spin this, spin that. Now it's just no Trump. That's what it's all about. This is LaMonica McGyver, whatever. She's like MacGyver, but an idiot. And she's going on DHS officials on Capitol Hill today. And spewing nonsense. She attacked an ICE officer, by the way. And here she is on C-SPAN 3 today, showing the desperation and the stupidity of the Democrat Party.
So let me ask you some questions that you may be able to answer.
Let me ask you some questions. That's a sign of intelligence right there. That's Ebonics. No, it's a sign she's not smart.
Mr. Lyons, do you consider yourself a religious man?
Oh, boy, here we go.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes. Okay, well, how do you think Judgment Day will work for you with so much blood on your hands?
She's talking to Todd Lyons.
I'm not going to entertain that question.
Oh, okay, of course not. Do you think you're going to hell, Mr. Lyons?
I'm not going to entertain.
What a stupid question. My God. What just a bunch of idiots on the Capitol Hill. You know, here, let me put things in perspective about what is inhumane and what will send you to hell. Here's Tom Homan.
I want to make something perfectly clear, because we get attacked all the time being inhumane. The Biden administration is much more humane. It's a bunch of crap. Because there's been studies done that 31% of women that make that journey through the cartels get sexually assaulted. They get raped. And not just the women.
I think any party that would allow that to happen and not say anything they're the ones who are going to be going to hell. They're sunshine.
And children, too. I've done numerous investigations in that. Sex trafficking was historic highs with the open border. Fentanyl.
Yeah, and going after criminal aliens, that's going to send you to hell.
Historic highs that kill a quarter million Americans.
Sure.
No inspector terrorists that came across the border.
Yeah.
Record, historic. What happened under the Biden administration was the most inhumane thing I've seen in my lifetime.
Yeah, it was monstrous. It was monstrous and it was evil. Because the Democrat Party said nothing about hundreds of thousands of Americans dying of fentanyl poisoning, 300,000 children being trafficked across the southern border, given to people lying about who they were so they could traffic the children for sex and labor. You, my dear, you, Monica MacGyver, you're the evil one. I mean, the hubris, my God in heaven. Back to Rob Finnerty talking to Markwayne Mullin about why Democrats want sanctuary cities and whatnot.
Again, according to Chuck Schumer, would it then be racist to buy alcohol? You need photo ID to buy tobacco, vapes, lottery tickets.
It all relates to the no ID thing because you want illegals to vote.
To rent a car, to
Absolutely.
rent an apartment, to buy a house, to stay in a hotel, to board a plane, to open a bank account, to apply for a loan, to visit the doctor, to get a prescription filled, to get a passport, to get a marriage license, to buy a gun. We could go on. Why do you think this is so controversial for Democrats?
The truth is, this is why they have sanctuary cities in these blue states. This is why all these blue states, by the way, they allow illegals to vote in their state elections. Now, legally, they're not allowed to vote in federal elections. The thing is that they're not checking that they're a true citizen and eligible to vote inside a federal election.
And in states like California, they're not allowed to investigate it, even if there is voter fraud. So it just happens, and they say it's not happening, which is a lie.
Then there's no way to know it. You just have to go through the irregularities, and you got to look at each ballot, and you got to check it off, which most of these don't get checked off. They get run through a machine, and it says yes or no. And so it's part of the, I believe, and I'm not a conspiracy person, Rob, but I believe it is part of the bigger plan. They want these individuals to also have amnesty moving forward. They want them to, they want these illegals that they're...
It's been the plan forever.
Planting their flag on. I mean, you see it in Minnesota, you see it in L.A., you see it all through these sanctuary cities that they put illegals over legal residents because they think it's their next voting block. And you can't explain any other reason why they would be going down this path.
Look at the states that Kamala won. Not a single one requires voter ID. This cannot be a coincidence. Mitch McConnell apparently has been holding this up on your side of the aisle. Do you know what's going on there? And do you know any Democrats in the Senate who support the SAVE Act?
Well, Mitch isn't able to hold it up, but he has come out with a Dear Colleague letter saying...
Hold it up or get it up.
And that he opposes it, which we had a very big conversation about that today in one of our meetings because people are like, it's federalizing the election. And my point was to the group was it's not federalizing. We're not telling people where or states where, when, and how to have their election. We're just saying that you got to have an ID to prove that you're a citizen.
And the reason why Democrats don't want it is because they want to be able to steal votes because they have no platform with any positivity or a record of success that would make you want to vote Democrat. There you go. On the other side of the break, John Solomon has some insiders on Capitol Hill. He says the SAVE Act is going to pass. So we're going to take a break and come back to this. This is the Rob Carson Show.
WCBM.
Gotta rejoin.
Okay.
Relentlessly slowing the spread of the stupid every day. It's the Rob Carson Show.
If Trump had lost, there would never have been another real election again, because Trump is actually enforcing the border. If you have open borders and you provide a ton of government handouts, which creates a massive financial incentive for people from other countries to come to your country, and you don't prosecute them for crime, they're going to be beholden to you, and they will vote for you. Mm-hmm. And that's why Obama and Hillary went from being against open borders to being in favor of open borders. It is a winning strategy. If they are allowed to get away with it, they will import enough voters to get supermajority voting, and then there is no turning back.
We talked about this before the election, and then you literally pointed towards the camera, you faced the camera and said that if you do not vote now, you might not ever be able to do it again, because it'll be futile. Run.
Yes.
They'll keep the borders open for another 4 years, and their objective will be achieved.
Correct.
And this is why the Democrat Party is profoundly evil. And you, if you are a Democrat, need to reevaluate your affiliation with the party. I mean, I'm 100% serious about this. I've always been able to break bread with liberals. It wasn't until Donald Trump became the president and I became a conservative talk show host that my liberal friends, wanted nothing to do with me. So I would recommend that you repent, because your party is going down in flames. You're on the wrong side of history on everything. You supported an open border and said nothing while children were being trafficked for sex and labor. You said nothing while 31% of illegal migrant women were raped. You said nothing as the buzzards along the trail to the United States became fat on human flesh because of the number of people who died. You're on the wrong side of history. You're on the side of a party that wants to keep you from showing your ID to make sure that your vote is legal. You're 71% of the time on the side of that ID, you Democrats. Your leaders are on the opposite side because they want to continue to take your money to enrich themselves and their friends and keep them in power into perpetuity. That's it, in perpetuity. Why are you still a part of that party? You're going to have to do some soul searching. If you still have one, you don't want to be a part of this party because it doesn't have one. It does not have one. My God, are you insane? Bad Bunny at the halftime talking about, all sorts of, sex acts, and then your Democrat Party has a problem with Kid Rock talking about Jesus. Really? Really? Wow. Here is John Solomon talking to the great, the awesome, the most incredible Steve Bannon about the SAVE Act.
Do you think the House can actually pull this together to codify President Trump's program about straightening out elections?
I think so. When I talked to Steve Scalise, he felt he had the votes to get this package through. By the way, the two key provisions already passed the House separately. Putting them together and sending them to the Senate is really designed to put an enormous amount of pressure on the Senate. The House Republican leaders feel confident they'll get this bill through. What does it do? It makes you show proof of citizenship to register and requires...
That is so racist. No, it's not.
...an ID to vote. Two things that would safeguard our elections. And by the way, both of them are 75 to 85% popular.
91% with Republicans. Might even be higher than that, actually.
Among Americans, including among minorities. So it's not something...
Oh, my God. Even black people don't think it's racist. Holy hell.
That's controversial. Just like Bad Bunny in the NFL were out of tune, elitists that thought it was a great show when the rest of America was scratching its head. The Democrats in the Senate, and maybe some Republicans in the Senate, are going to show their elitism by trying to stop something that is 80% popular. The real question for the Republican Party, the conservative movement, all the conservative groups is, do they have the will to pressure the Democrats and the Rhino Republicans to get this?
You better get her done. You better get her done. Here's Liz Warren. I don't know if you heard this, but the Democrats are now saying that women are too stupid to get a name change after they get divorced, so they can't get an ID in time to vote. So not only are black people too stupid to get an ID to vote, which is what Democrats say. They're either too stupid or they got criminal activity in their background, so they can't do it. That's what Democrats actually say. It is. But now they're saying that women are too stupid to be able to change their name back after they get divorced and whatnot. And here is Liz Warren. She was a Native American until she wasn't. Being confronted about it.
The SAVE Act is expected to be brought this week to the floor for a vote. Do you support voter ID for elections?
Well, it depends on what you mean by voter ID. When you want to say that everyone...
It's an identification form to prove who you are.
Has to produce a birth certificate.
Maybe what tribe you're in. I don't even know.
Including women whose married names are not on their birth certificates. That creates a real problem.
God, she sounds like a friggin' school marm, doesn't she? She just sounds like that woman on the nose, on his glasses at the end of her nose. You kids, settle down back there.
For me.
Ugh.
Well, isn't that just one of the first steps in getting married is getting a new ID?
Actually, it's not getting a new birth certificate. Because part of what...
Birth certificate? Well, you got a birth certificate with your original name on it. Brr. Change your married name back to your original name.
SAVE Act does is...
You got 9 months to do it. The election's in November.
Most driver's licenses around the country won't work as an ID. And that creates a terrible problem.
Oh, terrible problem.
But you need an ID to do just about anything in America. Shouldn't you need one to vote in elections?
You don't need a birth certificate.
Oh, God, you know what? You're just making this so bloody complicated. Everybody knows you want to steal elections. And what you're doing in the meantime is you're insulting women, you're insulting minorities. Here's Jamie Raskin, again the other day saying that because you want voter ID, that they want to take away the woman's right to vote.
What's wrong with the SAVE Act? What's wrong with it is that it might violate the 19th Amendment, which gives women the right to vote.
Oh, my
because
God.
You've got to show that...
And it wants to enslave women and put them in chains. I don't even know. There's just so much going on
all
here.
Of your different IDs match. So if you're a woman who's gotten married and you've changed your name to your husband's name, but so now your current name...
You poor, pathetic women who changed your name to your husband's name and you got a divorce from him, and now you're stuck because you got the name and you can't... Oh, wait, you can actually go some places and get the name changed back. It's really not that big a deal. You got 9 months to do it.
Is different from your name at birth. Now you've got to go ahead and document that. You need an affidavit explaining why. And...
Yeah. Get the friggin' affidavit.
Why would we go to all of these?
Because you got to prove who you are.
What's wrong with the SAVE Act?
I gotta tell you,
What's wrong
honestly,
with it?
They insult you. They insult women. They insult minorities. They insult everybody. And they insult you as Democrats who want a voter ID. Your party is out of step with the country. This is an 85-15 issue. Democrats, do something about them because they're taking your money and enriching themselves so they can stay in power in perpetuity. You need to do something about your party, Democrats. And Republican rhinos, pull it together. International disputes, inflation. Hey guys, it's Carson for Quince. You know, a well-built wardrobe is about pieces that work together and hold up over time. That's what Quince does best. Premium materials, thoughtful design, everyday staples that feel easy to wear, even as the weather shifts. Quince has everyday essentials. I love the quality that lasts, by the way. Organic cotton sweaters, polos for every occasion, lighter jackets to keep you warm in the changing season. The list goes on. Now, Quince works directly with top factories and cuts out the middleman. So you're not paying for brand markup, just quality clothing. Everything is built to hold up to daily wear and still look good season after season. I have a great wool blazer that has the ladies turning their heads, even if they're not looking at me. And then, of course, a cashmere sweater, ridiculously soft, doesn't cost a fortune as well. Refresh your wardrobe with Quince. Go to quince.com/Newsmax for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada, too. That's quince.com, QUINCE.com/Newsmax. Free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Newsmax.
I'm gonna sue Lou. Nothing he said is remotely true. I'm gonna sue Lou. I'll have my day and make him pay. I'm gonna get my way. I plan to sue Lou. Ted's in trouble, just watch him sweat. A summons he is gonna get. The lies he told publicly. Makes them slanderous, he defamed me. Ted's liable, he darn well knows. Sue him for $10 million. He'll pay through the nose. When I sue Lou, I'll bankrupt him. That's what I will do. When I sue Lou, he won't stop me, just wait and see. Take his last penny. When I sue Lou, he's dishonest, but what else is new? I'm gonna
Hello, my name is Brian Delatry, and I started taking Relief Factor just about a year ago. I was having chronic knee pain. Over time, it just got worse and worse. Just walking downstairs was painful. Well, since I've taken Relief Factor, the results have been just amazing. I actually walk 4 miles a day, 5 to 6 days a week. No pain at all going downstairs. Very active playing golf, and it's been really just unbelievable in the change I've had in the pain in my knee. Hope that someone who's experienced the same type of pain gives Relief Factor a try. And I guarantee if you get the results that I have, you'll be very happy. I'm going to continue using the product because I am now pain-free.
Don't wait. If you're dealing with daily pain, launch your 3-week quick start and see what Relief Factor can do for you. Go to ReliefFactor.com. That's ReliefFactor.com. How will it feel to be out of pain?
Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime performance redefined what it means to be an American patriot. Yeah, redefined.
Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Panamá, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, Mexico.
Kazakhstan is the greatest.
So basically, not American.
No.
Patriot used to mean real stuff, like putting your life on the line to protect this nation. Kind of like what some artists actually did. Now it means a gender-bending cliche, smugly proclaiming he'll show us, unless the opportunity and the stage are big enough to recreate the third world and crap all over our nation in a foreign language.
That is Justine Murray. MRC video. Wow, another great one, another one. Justine, welcome to the Rob Carson Show. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me back.
Yeah, it starts with a man, a grown man, calling himself Bad Bunny. I think that's where it starts.
That's as badass as the little brat from Where the Wild Things Are, like the
Max.
7-year-old who jumps up on the kitchen table in his little fuzzy-wuzzy bunny suit.
Yeah, Max. Max is, by the way, my favorite story of all time for a number of reasons, but let's not make my childhood into it. Yeah, this is unbelievable. And now we find out, Justine, that the reason why they didn't put up the subtitles is because the words were so filthy. And I got to tell you, for as much as Sunny Hostin wearing her palm hat, you know, and Anna Navarro saying how wonderful it was while the rest of us said, what the hell is he singing about? I don't think that most Latin Americans, Hispanic Americans, like that language so much. In fact, a lot of them are practicing Catholics. And so that even adds to the outrage over this nonsense.
Yeah, of course. It sounded more like a Tren de Aragua-sponsored Diddy party than anything out of Latin American culture. As you said, a lot of people in my comments, they were Hispanic themselves, and they were complaining how horrible this guy was. And meanwhile, it was all the white leftist minivan types from Minneapolis screaming at me.
What the hell does living in America have to do with gyrating and grinding in the middle of a sugarcane field? Honestly, and why do more Puerto Ricans live in America than Puerto Rico? So what does that say about Puerto Rico?
Well, it's an attempt to turn this country and turn the West entirely into the third world, and they've tried doing this with our culture for a very long time. The modern day trend of spewing musical diarrhea, this has been going on for so long. Last year at the Super Bowl, you had a guy who was grabbing his crotch the whole time as well.
I know.
He was grunting. He might as well have been crapping into the microphone.
Yeah.
And we all were supposed to just clap our hands and snap our fingers and go, yeah, this is culture. Culture apparently means twerking on each other and inviting a kid up on stage, what Bad Bunny did, after having a bunch of people just be like as disgusting as humanly possible.
Yeah.
And if you read his lyrics translated, it really does sound like the vulgar slurs coming out of a 7th grader who is learning all these naughty words for the first time, and he thinks he's super edgy and coherent, but it really sounds akin to like a subway bum, just a drugged up bum screaming and stomping around, hurling epithets, and he doesn't know what he's saying.
It's
but
just
that's
grotesque.
the quality of music today. All our subway thugs and the worst kinds of people have been platformed. They have no talent, but they've been given a spotlight and multiple Grammys. You have the Beatles, and you have John Lennon, and you have Queen. You have Freddie Mercury, who is actually rewarded with less Grammys than Cardi B, who wrote the song "Wet Ass P Word."
I know. It is ridiculous. And I thought the TPUSA halftime was very good. You had Kid Rock there, and Kid Rock had a song called Cowboy 1999, and it's one of my favorite all-time anthems. It's a silly song. It talks about his homies in Cell Block 6 and all the cops and all of that. And he said that he wrote it to be bombastic. And then you'll notice he opened the halftime with that. Then he segued to this kind of spiritual moment. Then he came back and sang about Christ. And I know you're Jewish, but I thought, that, and I mentioned earlier in the show, I think we're in the midst of a spiritual reawakening in this country. And I don't think it's necessarily just Christian. I think it's Christian and Jewish. Islam, I'm sorry, the more I know about Islam, the more I realize that a smaller portion of it are reasonable, compared to those who have been trying to take over the country. But I think we're in the middle of a spiritual rebirth, and I don't think that just because it was a Christian theme for the TPUS, it was exclusionary for all people of faith. What were your thoughts on that and the numbers? Because the numbers were gigantic.
Well, exactly. Well, that's the thing. Whether you're Christian or whether you're Jewish, believing in God, believing in something higher than humanity, that's something that should unite everybody, whereas the very materialistic, the vulgar, the disgusting epithets of the Super Bowl halftime, the AstroTurfed performer, that's in the name of inclusivity, they have excluded a majority of the country because It was in a foreign language. And I love how they try to gaslight us. The left loves to be as obtuse as possible, gaslighting us, saying, oh, well, technically he was representing America because, well, Puerto Rico is an American territory.
No.
Meanwhile, he's waving the flags of every other country. Oh, but as long as it's, quote unquote, in the Americas. These things are stupid. This isn't football. This isn't soccer, which in Latin America they call football. But this is football. This is American football. United States. That's specifically a U.S. sport. And I love how they try to lecture us that, we're just a bunch of uncultured swine for wanting to have our country and our values represented. And meanwhile, they'll spit in our faces because we believe in God, because we aspire to something that's higher than humanity. They aspire to government handouts to the point where they had a sign that says, we welcome EBT at the Super Bowl on like the set of Bad Bunny's little Diddy performance there.
Yes.
He had like a little like hot dog stand or something or other, and it says, we accept EBT cards.
Nice.
Because that's what they look up to.
Unbelievable.
Look up to the government.
Unbelievable. And the rest of the world, civilization, had particularly South Central America, had existed for thousands of years. They didn't have indoor plumbing, and they practiced human sacrifice quite a bit before America came around and gave the world electricity, indoor plumbing, radio, television, flight. I can go on and on and on. Honestly, for the rest of the world to lecture us about civility is positively ridiculous. Let's take a break and come back. On the other side, I want to bring it up. I don't pay a lot of attention to Candace Owens because, honestly, what the hell? But she had some bad things to say about TPUSA. Also, Joy Behar compared Don Lemon to the church invasion to Eisenhower visiting the concentration camps. I don't even know where. I don't even know how. I don't know what sort of mental spasm she had, but we're going to cover that on the other side of the break. More with Justine Murray, MRC Video on the other side of the break. This is The Rob Carson Show. More with Justine Murray, MRC Video, in one moment. There's a never-ending list of reasons why gold has risen over 700% in the last 20 years and went from 2,600 or so about a year and a half ago to 5,600 about 2 weeks ago. Then it dropped down below 5,000. Right now it's hovering a little over $5,000 per ounce, $5,000 per ounce. Things have really dramatically changed. It is a dynamic situation, a fluid situation. And since it's down, an opportunity for you to invest in gold with Birch Gold. Gold thrives during uncertainty, which is why it's a crucial part of a balanced strategy. Gives you peace of mind given all the events that could impact the U.S. economy. There's a lot of great things coming, right? We've got a new Fed chair coming in June. You've got massive investment in America. You've got price of fuel and energy coming down, all of these things. But it's still good to have gold in your portfolio. If you want to do that, I trust Birch Gold. They have an A-plus rating from the BBB, tens of thousands of customers, including this guy right here. I'm pointing at myself. Text my name, Rob, to 989898. Receive a free info kit on gold, no obligación, as Bad Bunny would say. Only useful información, as Sonny Hostin would say. Text my name, Rob, to 989898. Again, my name, Rob, to 989898. Do it today. Here's a Candace Owens reaction to the massive numbers on TPUSA's halftime show.
That's what he can safely say. Now, for people who have been on YouTube, YouTubers, so to speak, like myself, for more than 10 years, I was just in awe that they were going to try to sell this, that they were going to do what he did with his face and just lie and pretend that 6 million, I think even at one point just 10 million, but it says 6 million concurrent viewers they had on YouTube alone, okay? If you know YouTube at all, that's just not true on its face. It's actually, I laugh.
I don't know why she does it. People just say she's just being contrarian to be contrarian. I watched it on YouTube TV, Sunshine, which, by the way, is where I watch Newsmax, which is where I watch a lot of my programming every day. So it's not just YouTube. But honestly, Justine Murray, what the hell is wrong with Candace Owens? What was she just off? She's nuts. She's nuts.
She's the right's Michelle Obama. She's miserable, and she's self-obsessed. Yes. I don't know what happened within the past couple of years, because at first, when I started out going to Turning Point conferences when I was in college, she was still part of Turning Point. A lot of the stuff she used to say, just like Tucker, it was very intriguing. It was very good. And then suddenly, maybe they lost a little bit of fame. They started to get, at least Candace became washed up. And she realized that you can get millions of likes, you can get millions of hits grifting off Jew hatred. It's the quickest way to the top is to spew hatred or to point the blame at one group, and usually it always lands on the Jews. And I like to call this racial and ethnic Marxism. It's the same thing the left preaches during 2020 and continuously. The left made Whitey the big boogeyman. It was the white man, the evil white man, keeping everyone down. And now it of course has devolved into the Jews, as it does. Year after year, at generations after generations, Jews are always the scapegoat. But she's gone far beyond that, because people who are anti-Semitic, who are anti-Jewish, there's always something a little bit more to that. A lot of them, they're very bitter. They always pick at the groups of successful people, Jews, white people, good cultures, Asians, and they say, well, they're the reason because most of them are successful. They're the reason why everyone else is having a bad time. So she's not only doing that to Jews, she's doing that to people in her personal life, past relations, and that includes Turning Point USA. That includes Erica Kirk, and a lot of people are speculating. She's targeting Erica Kirk, Charlie's widow. She's doing this because maybe she previously liked him, and she feels rejected, and, oh, boo-hoo, people aren't paying enough attention to her. So, of course, she has to scrape to the bottom of the bottom, even if that means throwing people on the right under the bus. to the point where she's not even on the right in the first place.
Yeah, you know, it's amazing.
If you get rid of all labels, yeah, she sounds like a leftist.
It's amazing. I used to admire her. I used to enjoy watching her. Same goes with Tucker Carlson. When he left Fox, when he was let go, I picked up and I paid for his podcast, and I just don't listen to it anymore. He's just too off the. I don't know. I can't explain this. I cannot explain it. I do want to mention this is just Joy Behar, who is just insane.
So, I mean, all I can say is it's in the Constitution, the right to protest, and he wasn't even there protesting.
Talking
he was
about
there
Don
as a
Lemon.
journalist.
Yeah.
Correct. And I think they want to use him as some kind of a, an example to intimidate other
Scare people.
journalists.
Not at all.
But I was reading something the other day about World War II, when the Americans liberated Dachau after World War II, after the Holocaust. Dwight D. Eisenhower said, take pictures of these concentration camps, because years will go by and people will not believe this happened. So this administration does not really like somebody like Don Lemon, who has a camera, who has a position.
My God, can they just besmirch sacred things anymore? For God's sake, are you out of your nut, woman? And I believe she's Jewish.
She's actually, I don't believe she is.
Oh, okay.
But it's funny because she loves to appropriate our characteristics and cadence. A lot of people do think she's Jewish.
Yes.
And there are a lot of Jewish leftists who aren't religiously Jewish, but they love to use whatever Jewishness they have to only target fellow Jews, which is what she essentially is doing either way. And what she's basically saying is that Don Lemon helping storm a church and mobbing all those poor children. By the way, reports are coming out that Maoist mob, they blocked Christian children who were going to Sunday school that day. They blocked them in the stairwell from getting to their parents. So they wouldn't let their parents save them, get to them. They became very physically intimidating. They pushed all these kids and their families and their parents up into a corner. And what Behar is basically saying is that Eisenhower witnessing the horrors of the death camps is just like witnessing the horrors of people going to church and practicing their actual First Amendment rights.
We've got to run. We're up against a hard break, but I will tell you, she's comparing the Nazi death camps to that congregation. What a sick and awful and evil thing to do. Justine Murray, your awesome MRC video. Where else can people find you on social media, all your glorious work?
Certainly. Feel free to go to @TheMRC on X, and you can search for my name @Justine_BROOKE.
Outstanding work, outstanding interview. Great to have you on. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. That girl, I'm going to tell you, she is frickin'. Isn't she good? Isn't she good? I just think she's outstanding. She's outstanding. How could you say that about that congregation? That Don Lemon was like going into that congregation being terrified was like Eisenhower going into the death camps. What a sick-ass thing to say. My God, woman. What an awful, awful human being you are. Dear God. Dear God in heaven, as I like to say. Hello, Mickey Hastings. Hello, Anthony Aaron Armstrong. What's going on? Haven't seen you here before, but welcome to the show. Win Fam. Hello, Win Fam. What's going on? Are you Win Fam? Are you Thai? Win? Is Win Thai? I'm not sure. I apologize for not knowing. But I see the name Win a lot. T-Win. I have a friend named T-Win. And I think they're Thai. So what do we got here? What are we going to end up with here? Oh, yes. This will be kind of fun. All right. What else am I going to do here? Shit, I didn't have time to do that. I'll have to wait for that tomorrow. I'll have to wait for that for tomorrow. Gosh darn it. I was going to do Rob Schmidt today, but I want to do it tomorrow. Because he's going to be on the show tomorrow. It'd make more sense. All right. It is time to move on. And move on. No clemency. Tom Homan. Montage idiot Democrats. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. It's time for me to wrap things up.
3 to 6 on Talk Radio 680 WCBM.
Got him at 240 here.
Okay.
With the last shot of this game and a chance to lift the Americans through to play for gold.
Curling.
Team USA trying for 2 and the win.
Sweep.
Girl, clean.
Sweep.
Clean is the word you want to hear.
Clean, yeah, clean. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And?
Oh, it's TC to a T.
Yeah, it's shuffleboard.
Team USA.
Yeah, Team USA. They're going for the gold in curling.
To play for gold.
You know, I would imagine that the guys who do the sweeping are very popular with married women. Because married women love it when men do housework. They do. It's like foreplay, for God's sake. You got to imagine that married women love watching those guys. And look at him sweep. Oh, my God. Look at him sweep. Can he dust? Oh, my God. If he can dust, I'm going to have a moment here. I'm going to have a private moment. You got to imagine that married women love to watch curling when guys sweep. Because it's like, wow, look at him do housework. They call them curlies. Whoop, 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 whoop. They call them curlies. So there you go, the curling. Listen, I don't want to besmirch curling. To me, it's kind of boring because, it's shuffleboard on ice and the guy with the broom that I guess makes it go faster. You'd think you might clean up the ice a little bit before the game. Then you wouldn't need the ice guy doing the sweeping thing. I mean, really, how dirty can the dust be? Maybe you could just have a Zamboni ride right in front of it. Just ride right in front of it. And then you could just do it that way. But this is curling. It's kind of weird. It's like that when they biathlon. They ski and then they shoot. And then they become extras in James Bond movies. That's what they do. It's weird. It's just kind of weird. But you know what? If the USA gets a curling gold medal, hell yeah, I'll celebrate curling. I could probably do curling right out in front of the building. The sidewalks are still icy from 2 weeks ago. I could just take a big stone thing and a broom and go to town. That's going to do it for the show today, guys. I appreciate you joining me. Make sure to check out the podcast. I apologize for some of the streaming issues we've had today. We will get them straightened out. In the meantime, go Curlies. God bless you. America has founded Donald Trump as he makes America greater than it's ever been. Until tomorrow, which is Wednesday, do not catch the stupid. I'll see you then.
Actually, Robin.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.